Welcome to Lessons with Wesley. If this found you, it was meant to. Take a moment to pause, reflect, and breathe. You're entering a sacred space of tarot, of oracle, meditations, Ogham, and soul-centered wisdom. There are no coincidences here, only invitations. Lessons with Wesley.
The Rider Who Left Bread, a winter tale inspired by the wild hunt. Long ago, in a village cradled by forest and fog, there lived a weaver named Ellen. She spoke little, sang often, and always left a crust of bread on her window sill when the nights grew long. The old ones had told her why. When the wind howls like wolves and the air tastes like silver, leave your offering, girl, the hunt rides. On the longest night, that wind came, not cold, but strange. It rattled shutters and stirred embers as if unseen hooves galloped overhead. Ellen felt it in her ribs before she heard it with her ears. She lit a candle. She set the crust. She whispered a name she didn't remember learning. And in the hush that followed, she saw him. A rider cloaked in mist and antlered like the trees, paused before her home. His mount, not a horse, not a stag, shimmered between both. He looked not at her but through her, as if seeing every life she had yet to live. Then, nodding once, he took the bread. The wind passed. In the morning, where the crust had been, lay a single white feather and a scattering of snowflakes that didn't melt. Ellen lived a long life filled with stories she could never quite explain, but she always said this: if you treat the wild hunt with reverence, they may not pass you by in fear, but in blessing. All right, folks. That was just a fun story that I had fun with coming up with ChatGPT. So welcome to Wintering with the Ancients, part 4 of 5, the wild hunt and winter offerings. When the wild energies of winter sweep through your life, how are you going to respond? Are you going to hide? Or are you going to make sacred offerings and stand in your truth? Hope y'all had a great weekend. Mine was great. Oh my gosh, we are out. School's out for winter. Not summer yet, folks, but we got 2 weeks off, 3 weekends. Saturday marked the first night of Yule. So if you listen to the last episode, there's 12 nights of Yule. So to honor the first night of Yule, the winter solstice, Nathan and myself and a couple of our dear friends came over and we had a fantastic supper, and I had everything laid out. Each person had a candle, certain color candle that corresponded with them, and each person also had a gift to leave as an offering to the ancient ones, to the Norse and Celtic traditions. I also had some river birch, and so everyone wrote down one thing that they wanted to be burned away in the Yule fire, and then also wrote down one sigil or symbol or a desire that that they wanted to see come to fruition, and you could say the next year, the next season. And it was excellent. We just had a fantastic time. And I have been setting my intention. So I started last night and I'll do it again tonight. So if you listen to the last one, you'll also see that I made a post on Facebook and Instagram, listeners, about the 12 nights. Each night has a journaling or a meditating or, some type of prompt. So remember, if y'all get anything out of that and you want to, like if you had a certain dream or visitation or just something you like, oh man, for some reason, like night 5 really journaling prompt really just spoke to me. So if you want me to share anything, don't forget to email at lessonswithwesley@gmail.com. Okay. So I hope y'all like that picture. If you look on Facebook, man, the wild hunt about Odin, and you can see the picture there, the card and the Ogham stick coming up. I love that picture. So it's amazing. So let's get into it. So before we get into and ground ourselves and get into how is this oracle card or Ogham stick going to speak to me, or what wisdom can I gain from this card pool, I want to talk about the wild hunt. So we got some key aspects of the wild hunt. Usually it was led by Odin or Woden, or sometimes the goddess Holda, or and I'm going to spell it, Cailleach. So that is pronounced Cailleach. And it depended on where you lived, what region you were in, depending on who was leading the wild hunt. So I'll just go with Odin. So a lot of times Odin is seen riding his 8-legged horse, Sleipnir. Now that's spelt Sleipnir, Sleipnir. Sometimes there would be other figures with him, like the Valkyries, sometimes other female deities or historical figures. The hunt, if you ever heard them coming, you wanted to stay inside. Those who saw the hunt would often be taken away, either their soul or their body would be taken away. So speaking of the winter solstice, the longest nights of the year, so we're in the darkest nights of the year, and that's oftentimes when the hunt would be on their ride, around the midwinter time, Yule time. Like I said, the Valkyries would often be seen riding with this terrifying horde. Fallen warriors, wolves, ravens, trolls, souls of the dead. And like I said, they believe this would happen during that longest time, the darkest time. So why would they do that? What was the purpose? Well, it could be seen as an omen of misfortune, maybe a war, plague, or folks just flat out scared, like, oh, we're in the darkest time of winter. I hope I can make it. I hope I have enough food stored away. Hearing the horns might mean some type of change or trouble was coming your way. People, like I said in the last episode, people always think Halloween. Halloween is always the dark time and the time where you tell stories. Well, no, that's not only it. They would oftentimes tell stories around the fire and tell stories around the Yule fire and interact with the dead. And this might be a time where you would fear, like I said, being taken away. Does that sound familiar, folks? Who is Santa's counterpart? Krampus, coming in the dark times, taking away naughty, naughty children. But sometimes Odin and his horde could be seen as guiding souls to the underworld, could be a warning, stay indoors, and it could be also seen, if you want to go into it, go deeper, spiritual transformation. And I'm going to tie that back into what we did last Saturday night, a transformation. Maybe Odin is taking away that old belief, that old habit, this old cycle that you're stuck in. Like that burning on the birch wood. I had my intention set, and that burning away that old, I want it to be stripped away, taken away, and then that new passion or desire or goal that I have for the new season, for the new year coming up, just rising on the smoke of that fantastic Yule logs that we burned. And what would they do to try to protect themselves? Well, get ready, folks, because this is a practice that most of us still do today. what would they do? Leave out offerings. And what do? We leave out offerings. But they would leave out offerings or tokens. So peace. So Odin's horde, this wild hunt, would not curse me, but I would actually be blessed. So they would leave offerings out. Bread, milk. Oh, milk, y'all. Man, when I talk about the card pool, it is fantastic. You're going to see how this ties in. It was awesome. Anyway, leave out bread, milk, ale, brandy, bourbon. Sounds good to me. To appease the hunt and also to protect themselves. And they would stay indoors to avoid being caught. And remember, what do? We bring in Christmas trees. We bring in the evergreen. We bring in life. I always have rosemary cuttings hanging on my back door all year round. So, and what do? What do we do now? We leave out offerings. We leave out Santa's coming. So we leave out milk and cookies. And I'm going to talk about that later, about leaving out stuff for the we folk, for the fae folk, for the she folk. Okay. But anyway, so that's the wild hunt. So y'all ready? Okay, so get ready to ground yourselves and hear about this fantastic card pull from the Celtic Healing Oracle deck. Remember, that's the deck that I'm using this entire time through this Part 5 series. And get ready for that fantastic Ogham stick pull. All right, listeners, get ready to ground yourselves. Just take in a few breaths. Set those intentions. What are you ready to receive? What needs to be burned away? What old belief or guilt or anger do I need to offer up? What am I ready to receive? What new gift is going to take its place? Here we go. Celtic Healing Oracle card number 35. We got Spirit of Mountains, Breasts of the Goddess. I told you it would tie in perfectly with leaving out offerings of milk. Milk, nourishment. Good grief, what a fantastic card pull. If you chose this card, you're invited to let go of harshly judging yourself or others. While corrective actions are essential in the course of human life, blaming self or others is neither practical nor life-sustaining. And that tied in perfectly to what Nathan and I did and our dear friends did the other night. Letting go of the hurt, burning away that guilt. Jeez, forgiving yourself. However awkward or difficult, seeking or extending forgiveness frees life to be lived more fully in the present. The image of the breast of the goddess Anu signifies the nourishment of mother's milk and the boundless self-giving. As though untouched by human logic, she gives impartially and boundlessly to the just and unjust alike. Therefore, you're encouraged to partake of her wisdom in some aspect of your life. Rather than judging or holding court on the actions of others or yourself, you may wish to reevaluate or amend those aspects of your life with a gentler, more forgiving approach would be freeing and more deeply gratifying. So these mountains, I forgot to say, they're known as the Paps of Anu. It's a set of two rounded mountains. It says it's near the plains of Killarney in Ireland. So people still go up there and make a pilgrimage to the top of the mountains, and they carry stones and such. Well, as they stack them, what do you think they're building? Nipples. So it's kind of funny. But I just love the fact that it just ties in perfectly with leaving out gifts and leaving out milk and honey for the wee folk. So this card also, it grounds the wild energy of the hunt into the feminine, rooting ourselves to the body of earth. So listeners, even amidst the storm that you might be in, or the dark nights or the shadows, don't forget that we are all held, we are all fed, and we are all still worthy of kindness. So the breasts of the goddess, they're not just physical nourishment, but it could also be a spiritual nourishment. Milk seen as wisdom, forgiveness, rebirth. So leaving milk for the fae, for the she, for the we folk, it's not just it is a sacred exchange. It's not just tradition, but it's also an act of engaging, respecting one another. So just as the goddess gives her milk, we offer gifts in return, but not out of fear, but from a place of reverence and belonging. The mountains are her sacred body, unmoving, powerful, offering perspective. So this card is really saying, out of the harshness that's in the air, don't be harsh with yourself. Just like we did with that river birch, burn it away, laying down that self-judgment. Lay down that self-judgment like a cloak at the foot of the mountain, burning away those burdens of pain and grief, anger, old hurts, old beliefs. So let's look at the Ogham stick, Gorse, or sometimes Furze, F-U-R-Z-E. Gorse is G-O-R-S-E. Well, that stands for protection against misfortune and being resilient and optimistic. I mean, what a perfect message. Offering up protection. That when you burn that birch wood, that stands for protection, and being resilient during these dark times of winter and trying to stay optimistic. And gorse, it's a hardy thorn plant. It said it blooms yellow even in the cold months. So I love that. Like, I bring in rosemary, we bring in evergreen trees during these cold, dark times when a lot of things have died. So gorse is often associated with cheerfulness in hard times, protection, a renewal of hope. So as the wild hunt rides, think about the gorse with its thorn plant creating a boundary, saying, no, you're not welcome here. Standing firm in yourself, folks, believing in your power. And just reminder of ourselves, those blooms during the dark times when everything seems bare, just to find that joy. So gorse, letting go of the old, don't be in a rush, burn what no longer serves, but carry forward the gift of inner resilience. So gorse was traditionally used in magical fires, sometimes added to a Yule log or hearth embers. It says that gorse burns hot and fast, making it a perfect metaphor for the brief but fierce inner flame of protection and optimism. So there you have it. So folks, hope you've enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, go to Facebook, Instagram, follow. There is a link right there. All you have to do is just copy and paste it. I would love to have some more, see some more downloads and lessons with Wesley spreading. I mean, you never know who might get something out of it or what blessing they might receive. Speaking of blessings, so let's see, on Christmas Eve, don't forget, I mean, I guess you could do it any time during this winter solstice time, 12 nights of Yule possibly, but definitely on Christmas Eve, not just leaving out milk and cookies for Santa. Popo Gijo, Babo Natale, I love that part, and the Santa Claus. So I'm going to leave out some offerings, but I'm going to put it in a thimble. I'm going to leave out some milk, and I'll definitely leave out some bourbon, the cheap one. Oh, did I say that? No. You better put out the good stuff, Mr. Ginn. But no, so where can you leave those offerings Christmas Eve or whenever you want to? Around the fireplace, you could leave them. Threshold of your home. Maybe if you have like a gnome house or a fairy house or a gnome garden, fairy garden, you could leave the offerings there. So I'll probably leave it in the beginning of what we call our sanctuary. It's a little area of land that we built out this natural with walkways. So I'm probably going to leave it right there as an offering of respect. And hey, I see you, but I don't see you. I know you're there. So listeners, Let's ask ourselves, what gift am I willing to leave behind for the spirits of winter? What am I ready to receive, not because I've earned it, but because I am worthy of it? And remember, you are not just hunted, you are held. You are not just called, you are nourished. The wild hunt may pass through, but the goddess does not leave you. You are protected, you are sacred, and you were allowed to begin again.